I'm here, co-chair. To my left is
Nick Aldrich.
Jessica Eagles.
Billy Joe Draper.
Jesse Woods.
Thank you for coming. Tonight's on the agenda, we've got change the agenda, public comments. Brenda Stanley from the library, Garrett Wolski from the ambulance director service part, Michael Rose, our fire chief, Joey Clark, our road foreman, and Jesse Wood on zoning administrating stuff. So is there any changes to the agenda that we need to add? Hearing none, we'll shoot into public comments. Well then, we'll skip over the library information, and seeing how we've got our ambulance people here, we'll let them introduce themselves and we'll put you guys on the agenda.
It's some sunshine today.
That was nice.
I know. I need the weekends like this. Alrighty. So on tonight's agenda, I got some service updates, preparations for June Dairy Days, which is coming up this weekend, subscription program updates, the update on the compensation time policy, and then a uniform order. For the service updates, I've attached a letter with permission that I'd like you guys to read. I'll read it out loud. This was a letter we received from a patient with correspondence to the efforts that a crew did for them. They were very appreciative of the work they did. The crew that was on this call was Kelly, Michael, Sam, Billy, Aaron, and Dylan. Enosburgh Fire also was there as support. Berkshire Fire helped with extrication and landing zone setup, and then HealthNet as well. To the Enosburgh Falls ambulance crew, at the risk of you all getting tired of me and repeatedly talking about my episode ad nauseum, I apologize for putting you through it again. This patient was very grateful for the efforts that this crew did. They wanted his story to be put out there. I did redact any patient identifier information. They said they were fine with putting it out there, but just for HIPAA compliance, I did take that portion out. Excuse me. I've now obviously had a lot of time to think and have repeatedly gone through the sequence of events, and thank you all for taking time to meet with my wife and I to help fill in a lot of the blanks of that afternoon. You helped me validate much of what I could remember and of what I did and didn't feel. You were also very kind and patient with me and very polite in listening to my nonsense and attempts at humor. Speaking of humor, I hope I did not cause any of you angst while you were attempting to save my life, and I was simultaneously cracking jokes. I'm sure that you had plenty of calls where people had nothing but strings of complaints and experience other situations where your patience is stretched thin. I've heard horror stories from my daughter, who was an ER nurse for years and is now a nurse practitioner. I always try to make the best of any given situation, no matter how bad. I try to keep complaining to a minimum in my life. given whatever situation I might find myself in. After all, I was the one who got myself into that predicament. There is no right for me to complain. I was trying to get myself out of it without having to involve other people, but things don't always work out as planned. That's why I told the kid who I called down to cut me free not to call 911, as I didn't want to make a big commotion about myself. Just cut me free. I'll pull myself out, flip me over, relieve my leg pain, then just load me into the truck or tractor bucket and drive me to the hospital so I can get my leg fixed. I'm not telling you all what you're well aware of. It's no hyperbole to say that you all saved my life. That all became abundantly clear after speaking with you all, telling me of the timeline, the very small window that my life was in, and how you all worked in concert and ran the whole operation like a Swiss watch. You may not receive much in the way of thanks and recognition in the course of your work. I, for one, will never forget what you did for me. This episode now takes a spot in the top 3 of life-altering events I've experienced. I'm not a fragile or weak-minded individual, but this has been playing in my head for now weeks. I guess I'm just blown away that even happened to me. I got banged up, you were there to keep me breathing, loaded me in a helicopter, which got me to a hospital. I then was operated on and put back together. I can now sit in my house, look out the window, and keep going on with my life. Other than some soreness and trucking around with a walker, I'm able to carry on with life. But I don't want to just carry on. You all enabled me to carry on, and that I could never lose sight of. I've been doing tree work for 45 years, and I've always come up with solutions for disasters in the course of those years. At times I felt almost indestructible, but alas, I think some evil, nefarious person slipped me some kryptonite at a wine and cheese party, unbeknownst to me. Feel free to keep this on your website, or if you want to post it at your shop, on the tack board at Hannaford's, or on the bulk milk trucks up the street. I can never thank you all enough. Any words that I spend here don't come close to conveying how I feel. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart.
That's amazing. It chokes me up. It chokes your foot.
Yeah,
It's a lump in your throat. It's great.
So that crew was spot on. They did a very good job with that patient. They saved his life, and he got the treatment he needed. We are putting something together in conjunction with HealthNet and the fire department. We're going to do like a presentation with all of them together. He did come by the station and they did a Facebook post from him, from the ambulance service. So he was very happy. And then the next kudos I have, this was a letter from Kelly in regards to Kyra. Kyra and Aaron did great on the call. I haven't worked a ton with Kyra, but she was excellent on her call. She did an on-scene 12 lead, differentiated, asked a lot of questions about cardiac versus the patient's ongoing neck issues. I know the patient, so I stayed back and let them run the show. Billy and Sam also responded since the call came in as an unresponsive. I just thought her patient care, explaining things, interactions with a kind, persnickety guy. She got an IV after a good site selection and asking the guy good questions. Started off with trying Tylenol for pain control. I ended up giving him some narcotics. She just made me say, wow, that was a good call for her, and she wanted to pass that along. So kudos to Kyra on running the call very well. The next thing on the agenda, the Unit 3 status. Robert was going to get back to me at some point this week to let us know where the ambulance sits. Last update I had, it was supposed to go to Syracuse to get the lettering done. And then they're also going to service our mounting bracket system that mounts the stretcher to the truck. They took that apart and they saw that it was completely seized up and rusted out. So Northeast Rescue Vehicles is a Stryker dealer and they can fix it right at their facility. So he's supposed to be here either this week or next week. He's got a delivery, and he said he's going to stop by and hopefully have an update for us. It's supposed to be here at some point in June, towards the end of June, so I'll give you guys an update as soon as I find out where the truck sits. On that note, with that question, what do we want to do about the 2017 chassis?
Fly on, go get it.
Flying?
I will be going out that way somewheres this summer. If it stops raining, I'll give you an exact date.
It doesn't want to do that.
So I can always take somebody with me if they wanted to drive it by.
I'm planning for that. I did ask him if there was a deadline or a timeline that we needed to go get the truck. He said, not really. They just have it parked to the side, but it does have the DOT package on it. I have the license plates in the office, so if one of you guys do go get it, I can give you the license plates. It's registered, they're up to date, it has the insurance card in the glove box, that's good throughout this year. Just keep me in the loop on what you guys want to do.
Okay.
Okay. Facility and infrastructure updates. So I received the latest email, I think you got it too, Jesse, with the sidewalk work.
Okay,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Elkhart.
Elkhart, Indiana, yeah. The latest email I got is they're continuing with the sidewalk, pouring the concrete up the side all the way to the ball fields. So that's the next step I believe they're doing tomorrow. They said they're not shutting down any of the traffic to 105 tomorrow. It's been a little tricky today for us to get in and out because they've had the cement trucks going back and forth, but for us, we can go up Water Tower Road and shoot down to 105 for Sampsonville Road. So it really hasn't been an issue with us. We haven't noticed any changes. I don't know if the fire department has or not, but with us it's been okay. The bigger holdup is the construction they're doing along 105 with the new pavement. That's been quite a holdup. If crews are running lights and sirens, they're pretty good about letting us through. But if it's kind of a non-emergent transporting, it's quite a while wait. It's almost a 20-minute wait to get through. So, yeah. So hopefully that project doesn't take too long. But that's kind of the point they're at with that right now. And then, other than that, I don't know if you had any updates with the additions they did here.
The mini splits.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna go over all that stuff. I got some other questions with Brendan and stuff, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. They came in and they put all that stuff in the station here, which is great. So that'll be nice during the summer as we're gonna hit 90 degrees on Wednesday. Quick the year so far. But aside from that, I don't have any other construction updates. June Dairy Days preparations, we are gearing up for that. We're gonna have 3 crews scheduled during June Dairy Days. 2 crews on each ambulance and then 1 crew designated to the Dairy Days itself. We're gonna have the tent set up. Sam is heading the operations and finishing up the plans for the crews and their responsibilities. Hopefully the weather's gonna be decent. It looks like Saturday might rain. But aside from that, we're gonna have a truck in the parade and should be hopefully a good turnout this year. Weather abiding, but we will have 1 crew all 3 days designated to the event. And essentially the plan there is that that crew is designated to the booth and also kind of first responding if something happens at June Dairy Days. Ideally there will be a truck there, but if that crew's out on a call, both trucks are out on a call, at least we have personnel there in case mutual aid needs to come and help, whatever it may be. So they'll be there at least. Aside from that, any questions with June Dairy Days? Pretty well ready for it.
Hopefully it's nice weather.
I know.
I think they're coming for rain.
Yeah,
25 weekends there.
I saw that on the news. Subscription updates. I sent an email out to all of the towns in our coverage area requesting an updated grant list. The only one I haven't heard back from is Bakersfield. Berkshire, she got to me today and she's going to be sending me the updated grant list, and then we're going to be putting all of that into envelopes. So that'll probably be close to 8,000 subscriptions we're setting out. So that should be in the next couple of weeks. We'll be sending those out. And then they'll also have those to hand out at June Dairy Days as well at the tent.
And if you want to send me the version of the letter that's going in, I can start printing them on our
Yep.
copies.
Yeah. Yeah, that's totally fine. That actually was a question. Do you want me to do the labels on my printer, or do you want me to do them at?
I have the labels.
Okay.
You can pick them up maybe tomorrow. And you
Okay.
can do them up here.
They're sending them to me, the grand list format, so I can print on labels, so hopefully that should work.
Yep.
A little easier.
I'll print mine out for you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Are you guys gonna do a Facebook post?
For the
For the
subscriptions.
subscription? No? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Just let me know and I'll share it to the other page. Do you guys wanna do Front Porch Forum, all that stuff too? You want to?
We could.
I could make,
I never-
well, what I could do is I could make a link on the website, so we have a link and then we can share it, so then it would go right to that form if you guys,
Oh, gotcha.
if you guys wanna do that, so.
Yeah. Yeah, remind me of that tomorrow, Jesse.
Yep, yeah, just let me know, and
Thank you.
because if you wanted to also, we could sponsor that ad too, that post on Facebook if we wanted to put a little bit of money.
Oh, yeah,
If you
yeah.
wanted to put it out, because now that terms, things change with Facebook, so if you want to do that too.
Yeah.
There's another,
I think forum reaches a lot of people.
a lot of people. Yeah,
I know, that's one site I always forget about.
Huh?
Front porch.
It's hard to get in
Yeah.
there.
My father uses it all the time. All right. Next item is the compensation time policy. I did update that for you guys to review. That is part of our wage structure policy. I did put in the date revised. It is on the last page. So I incorporated that portion under eligibility of benefits. This is the same policy that is in our town personnel policy. The only thing that was changed was the capped amount that we discussed at our last select board meeting. Just read it over and let me know if there's anything you need me to change on it.
That looks good.
Is the employee supervisor the same thing as a department head?
Yes. You're reading.
Down at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's one of those of,
Must be submitted to the employee supervisor, who will have sole discretion to grant or deny the request. You know if that wording changed?
that's why I'm asking.
Well, that's not a
Just-
big deal to change it to ambulance director, or whatever word you would prefer.
I just think it would be cleaner.
Okay. I mean, doesn't stop you from.
No, but it's just, because the thing is that, you know, you've got a night supervisor, you've got a daytime supervisor, and then so the question is, well, you know, I gave it to Sam,
Yep.
and it's like, oh, you know, and then you turn around and say, well, I didn't know nothing about it, and Sam's going, oh, I forgot. So if we,
You want me to change it to director of operations or head of service or
I do head of service,
head of service?
it would just be cleaner, more direct.
How about that? Yep. So I'm going to change head of service, or I'm sorry, supervisor. So the read comp time must be submitted to the employee's head of service.
And then the only other thing would be, if you were to, I'm just thinking of like the departments in general, and that is that when they do this submission, should it be like in a week in advance or, I mean, we can make an exception for, you know, I'm gonna take Hometown tomorrow. But I don't know if it should be
Well, it says who will have sole discretion to grant or deny the request, so I think that kind of is covered what you're worrying about situations
Right.
where it is already up to the head of service to approve or deny the request.
Yeah, I mean, I'll stay with that for now. I'm just,
All day. So we're up and down.
Rain keeps that on. I think it looks good, that change.
Okay, Peter?
okay, so yeah, so probably here, this is where that clarification goes, because you've got Director of Operations, go to the first page. So if we put, somehow get, you know, things in line, see how you, down at the bottom, you got Directors of Operations.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying here.
So it's somehow if we,
So I'm gonna switch that
so maybe change that one to,
Director of
if
Operations.
that's what you want to use for a title.
Yeah,
That way it's just more consistent.
yep. No, that makes sense. So instead of head of service, we'll do Director of Operations.
So we need a motion on this for tonight, start with? Yeah? I'll move. With the change.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded for the comp time policy, with a change of wording of Director of Operations then. Any further questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Very good, passes.
Alrighty. And then the next thing I have for you guys is we're looking to do a uniform order. This should be the only uniform order we need to do this year. This is basically to replenish our stock. Since the new hires, we've essentially dwindled down our complete stock that we had in the office. And so we're looking to replenish that, so any additional new hires or personnel that is missing a shirt or needs an additional shirt that's worn out, whatever it may be, this will replenish that back to where we need to be. We got a quote from Grizzly Graphics. They quoted $1,446. They have our design already established. That's who we purchased the shirts from last time. And we're looking for permission to do an additional order. for this year. What's incorporated is the the short sleeve t-shirts used for summertime primarily, the long sleeve t-shirts like the one I'm wearing, the junior member shirts, we need more smalls, and job shirts. Once we come to winter time here, we're basically completely doing without job shirts. So we're looking to replenish our inventory, and hopefully this should be our only order for the year.
Put up 55 or something.
What's that?
Somebody's got 55 shirts.
Yep. With everything folded, yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the quote from Grizzly Graphics to order the shirts for the ambulance service.
I'll second that.
And seconded to approve the ambulance service uniform order from Grizzly Graphics for $14.46. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Any opposed, nay? There. Done.
And then the last thing I have, we're doing some positional changes, it's up to you guys. For our supervisors, it's up to you, it does put it on pages as well. If you guys want to do that in executive. It does, yeah.
I'm over going to executive for personnel.
I will make a motion to accept, for executive session, to accept the payroll discussion.
I second that.
It's been moved and it's seconded to set payroll discussion during executive. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Passes. Alright. You're up.
Now we'll go backwards, right?
Go back to the meeting.
Okay, so our summer reading this year, we're gonna end it on a Saturday, August 9th. And we're gonna do it here at the rec field. I've got Margo collaborating with me. We have booked and we're renting an 18-hole mini golf that'll be put up there. They set it up, it's there for 2 hours and they come pick it up. Along with that, for the summer reading, I would like to do a touch a truck event. I reached out to department heads, the fire department is interested, the highway is interested, the ambulance is. I reached out to the village, they're interested in putting a couple. The bookmobile maker, and then NCSS reached out to us and they did paperwork, they'd like to have a state car seat inspection check happen at the same time here. So it'd be a pretty big event, but I don't want to publicize the touch truck and all that until the select board says they have no issue with that, because again, it comes under municipality. But I think it'd be a fun event. We don't want to make it too big, because again, we want it right here. But, you know, and I would reach out to the police department to see if we could get a police car here, so kids can learn not to be scared and be able to touch everything, hear lots of horns.
Did they actually sit in the vehicles? Okay, I didn't know if it was just.
Nope, they get to climb in and blow the horns and
Oh, that's cool.
And, you know, if it's well received, I'd like to think about future years, maybe an annual event and have it bigger and maybe we think about a different location and stuff. But then of course I'm also gonna look to see if Hannaford's will donate water, maybe we can have some type of cookout or something to go with it. But with the Lions Club donated the $1,000 I requested, so we have already purchased 3 bikes that'll be being through the challenges through the summer reading. Kids can try to earn a ticket to enter. Last year we did 5 bikes. This year we're going to do 6 because I've had teens and adults ask for a bike. So we go from 12-inch and we'll go up to 26-inch. And we'll have some scooters and other things as prizes. But that'll be all for the finale on Saturday, August 9th from 10 to noon. So pray for sun. But
Is that different than the touch, or is it the same?
Same day.
Same
the
day.
whole big
Oh,
wide.
okay.
And
August
I
9th.
figure it's a great for community because we're gonna have all the different departments involved and the village involved with it. And so it's a great way for the community to talk to all the different departments if they'd like and realize how much this community does do.
Do you have a time for that yet, Brenda?
10 to noon.
Oh, 10 to.
Then the parents still have the rest of the day.
Right, yeah.
Is that a Friday? or-
Saturday morning.
Oh, hopefully
I think
that's a
they'll come
great.
just for the mini mill. Kids love me.
Yeah, well,
Jackson.
adults do too. So, but yeah, so we found that place. It's like $400 or $450 to rent for the 2 hours. I love the fact I don't have to set anything up, tear anything down.
Right.
So Margot and I were gonna split it between my budget and her budget, and
A little bit.
that way there it's not such a big expense.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you all feel about a touch a truck, but.
I think it's great.
Well, I just know that, as I said, being I'm part of the municipality and liability, so I want to be sure we're all okay with that.
We're covered with that.
Yeah.
Our insurance.
Yeah. I'll send them an extra note because we're here on this property.
Talking touch a truck. Maybe Sticks would bring a truck. He's like, what are you talking about?
He's still focused on dairy days for this one.
I'm sure.
Oh, very good.
We need a motion to allow the touch truck.
I'll make a motion to provide Enosburgh trucks for touch a truck. For the library event, library rec event, August 9th. 10 to 12.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to put the touch a truck in the summer reading finale on August 9th. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye. Any opposed, nay? Good.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for waiting.
Thanks,
No
Brenda.
problem. Thank you, I told you I'd quit.
You were.
Yeah.
So officially, guys, we're on for it.
Okay.
Sounds like fun.
So, yep, back to reality.
Yes.
You got a drink, LB.
It's like a s'more bar.
It is. It's a small bar.
You back up, Mark?
I don't know, is that hard?
Are they wrapped individually?
I'll take
Oh, they're
one
so
home.
sticky.
Yeah.
I had to do something with them. They're
Yep.
scratched up everything.
Okay, I was gonna deal with 2 things, but we already dealt with 1 thing, so now we're back to dealing with 1 thing.
Yeah.
A month or so ago, or 6 weeks ago or something, we were talking trucks and truck replacements and whatnot, stuff like that. Since that time, that popped up. This has come to our attention, and if you look at that, you will see
This thing, what is that?
Right, that's what-
It looks
that's the frame on the rescue. Those two pieces of metal are supposed to be very tight together and touching.
It looks used.
Where is it, Mark?
You know, that's any place you want, behind the rear wheels, or, yeah, so that's 6-8 feet of it.
After the rear.
After the cab and all the way to the back, mostly, yeah.
Well,
That's where the saw
Adam's
is
done
on.
this kind of work. You know,
So, I don't know, we were talking, exploring ideas of replacing the oldest truck, but that's not the oldest truck. But that is the worst truck.
And probably used as much as any.
That one there, yeah, that one there goes on every call,
Which
everywhere.
Is it the rescue?
It's the rescue, yeah. Yeah, it goes to everything. And, you know, somebody go, oh, why didn't you wash it? No, it's not a very good spot to get up there and wash.
yeah.
We do wash them every spring. We set a big 1.5-inch hose on the ground with a spray pattern and back and forth the trucks over them a couple times to try to get some of the salt off them the best you can.
So that's saltware.
That's, salt has caused that.
Oh.
Spoiler.
See, using too much of that can't kill me.
Well, that stuff's good stuff.
Yeah, the salt has caused that right there. So,
Do you think like if you got another one, could they?
well, this one's a double
Stuff on
frame.
it?
This one's a double frame. We wouldn't buy another double frame truck, and you wouldn't have that issue. Or,
Not as bad.
yeah, you potentially wouldn't have that issue because the 95, which is 6 years older than this one, does not have that issue. Yeah, it's a single frame, you know, so we're exploring, we've had some meetings, and you can see behind you there some pictures of we're dreaming and stuff like that, you know.
Dare to dream.
Dare to dream. If we were to buy one like we have right now, I don't know, probably 500,000 to 600,000. But we don't want what we have right now. We want something smaller. And I guess to fill you all in, we've talked the idea about putting a new frame under that body. New chassis under that body. If we do a new chassis into that body, I mean, I'm sure it's doable somewhere.
Like I said, Adam does it, but it's not. It's probably have to meet certain standards, but I know his would hold.
Yeah, if you want to meet NFPA standards,
Got-
you'll have to have a fire truck well, no, it's a chassis with some fire truck specs to it. But that's not a big deal in chassis.
Downtime though.
Huh?
Downtime would be the probably.
Yeah, it'll probably be down 3-4 months because the ambulance is gonna be down at least 2. That's a lot smaller deal. A lot less stuff to hook up on it. So we talked new chassis, we've talked new frame. Both are doable. You take that, you put a new frame under that chassis. We'll probably could spend 25,000, put a frame under it, 30,000 maybe, put a frame under it. Jamie do it. I'm sure he's done half a dozen of them this year. I'm sure he could do it. But then you got, 10 years from now, you got a 35-year-old truck with a good frame that you probably need to,
How many miles on it?
I don't know.
Is it-
But there's not that many.
Can't be
Not-
much.
Not that many. I think it's 30,000 or less,
Yeah.
Uh,
Any radiator or any sort of issues?
Yeah, it's a 2002.
2001.
No, but nothing, no other major issues that we know about.
Right. I mean, it's 25 years old. It's got a little bit of seepage and
Yeah. Gas, diesel.
diesel. It's diesel. Mercedes engine in it. It's a Freightliner with a Mercedes engine in it. So that's where we are on that, huh?
The cab and everything still in good shape.
Oh yeah, it's all cab's all solid everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a frame, basically.
So when you said you were daring to dream and thinking about smaller, how much of a smaller price tag comes with smaller?
Oh, cut it in half, maybe?
Really?
I hope. We haven't got that far yet, and I hope.
Give a committee on this
We do, we have 4 or 5 people, and we're gonna meet Wednesday night again. And we've been meeting every couple weeks on it right now, so.
one. Is there something like this out there that's ready built? Or is it gonna be custom?
Possibly we can, you know, so we really wanna know what we want before we go look for
That's easier.
what's out there, you know?
It saves time.
So that's where we are on that right there.
I don't have my book with me, but you have quite a lot in the truck.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah. Add to, what again, Joey, what else you got to talk, speak up here.
You're doing good.
What else do we want to talk about on that truck? We do want to go smaller. There's some equipment that's over 35 years old on it. For instance, the jaws. They're all hydraulic, which is fine. They work fine. But if we ever break them, that's it. They're done. No replacement parts available for those, so they claim.
So you can't buy jaws anymore?
Can't buy those old jaws.
For the brand.
So how much would a new set?
Yeah.
Well, probably you 40,000, probably maybe, depending on what you wanted.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't go hydraulic. We'd go electric. Everybody's gone electric. Rechargeable batteries.
Is that something that maybe we could keep our eyes open for the grant?
A grant? Absolutely, it's a grant eligible stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, is it something that we could say we could share, say with like a town of Berkshire, if you're saying we're sharing something, we're more apt.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to share, but you do
We
go
share with the
to a lot of
ambulance.
their
We
stuff.
share with the ambulance service.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know about that sharing with Berkshire or not, but.
Well, I know that
Everybody else has got jaws already, which is
most towns, or if not all of them.
Franklin, Sheldon, Bakersfield, Montgomery. They all got used ones somewhere, but they've all got them.
Yeah.
Do Berkshire have one?
Berkshire does not.
So they call you anyways?
They call us when we go with our ambulance there, yes. No, we get given the old ones, but I don't know if they want them. They are not personnel heavy by any means.
Well, no, that's why I was thinking outside the box. When you say you're sharing with a local, another
Right.
town, they often put you to the head of the line. You know, some things, even though we may keep it in our
Correct. It's
possession,
stored here, but
we
shared
can
with everybody.
still have a narrative of.
Correct. So the JAWS system we have now would not go to the new truck. So we think if we go with 4 pieces, right now we got, 1, 2, 3, 4, we got 7 or 8 pieces out there right now, all hydraulic. But in all reality, nobody's ever going to use 7 or 8 pieces on a call. So we cut that in half. You can get a good set of cutters, a good set of spreaders, maybe a couple rams, and you could do anything that we do now, basically, with a lot less compartment space. See,
Easier to work with.
easier, yeah. Maybe I don't know if they're any lighter or not, but you ever use electric jaws?
Just handled Swanton's ones.
I have never.
That actually do. They're heavy.
They're heavy, but they can be much heavier than hooked to hose and that sort of
They
stuff.
kind of need to be rugged enough to do what they do.
Right, yeah. Torque.
So we think we can save compartment space by downsizing in the extra vehicle education by going electric. If you I don't know if you walk around, but seen all our gear out there, a lot of our gear is in compartments. Most of the people have got their gear out here. So that when that truck was purchased 25 years ago,
They're stored in it.
part of the reason it's so high is because it's got gear storage in there. And if we eliminate all that gear storage, we can go from a 13-foot truck probably down to a 9-foot, 10-foot, something that go through covered bridge.
Go path.
You know, because you know, there's, you know, we've been to, well, we haven't had,
Always.
no, we hadn't had to go with that one yet.
Oh, yeah.
No. So we've been to
No, because there
Richard
were
a
just
couple
a
times.
lawnmower before.
We've been to East Richard a couple times, and you can't go through the covered bridges there either.
Yeah.
Or the, not the covered bridge,
The
but the
underpasses.
underpasses. You know.
We had probably had a chimney fire there once, and we put stuff in the pickup there. But
Yeah, the bumper went over, but
Yeah.
nothing out of there.
But
nothing.
it must be for more than just hers. I mean, like, must be there's some houses like mountainous kind of.
Oh, for sure.
driveways
Yeah, and
that
we'd
would
also shrink the chassis down to like a Ford 550, 5600, or Ford 600 something, four-wheel drive. Much handier. I think more people would be comfortable driving it. So that's what we're leaning towards right now.
Yeah.
We haven't made any decisions, and we'll come back to you with decisions when we make decisions and see what you want to do. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So that being said, there is a fire truck local in Chittenden County that pretty near fits the bill to replace our engine too. That's come up for sale. It's a used one.
Where is it?
Chittenden County. A couple guys have already looked at it, seen it a couple times, got a fair amount of pictures on it.
So they're just turning it over or something?
They're downsizing.
Oh.
The chief said, we don't need this truck anymore. It's way too expensive a truck for us to have, to keep, to ride around in. He says we're going to get a pickup to ride around in and not have this $200,000 or $300,000 truck to ride around in. So they're downsizing just like we are thinking on
And then,
downsizing vehicles, you know?
yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't know if it fits our bill 100%, but you'll never have one 100% unless you spec it out yourself and
Right.
this is what we want. So we're gonna do some more follow-up on that.
How old is it?
It's a Ford, it's a 15, 10 years old. I'm sure less than half price of the new one.
Oh, yeah. Dang.
The only thing we don't know what it is, if it's an engine in it. I know it's diesel, but we don't know if it's a 6.0 or 6.4.
I did some research. This is a 6.7.
It is a
It should
6.7?
be,
Yeah.
They're saying it is, and it should.
If it's anything but a 6.7, we're walking away from it.
Yeah, we don't want any of that 6-liter.
No, I
That's
don't.
what your little truck was.
That's the other one, the
Yeah.
other issue truck.
And the 6.4s that followed them,
Weren't much better, yeah.
they had issues.
So, I don't know, I hate to do something rash and stupid, but
What would you do with that one? Like if you got a new truck, what would you do with this one that needs the repairs?
that is a fine question, because who's gonna buy a truck and need a
Right.
frame? Somebody could buy it for the box, but we could park it at your house, yes?
It's got a big generator on it too.
There you go.
Huh?
That's got a big generator on it.
It's got a 25 kW generator on it, yeah. So, I mean, and it's got a big light tower on top too.
So I know Mark was clear.
Josh is already getting for his drag light.
I know Mark was clear, but we're talking two different trucks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
right.
So the engine two is the oldest truck, is the one to be replaced. In theory, that was the one that we were gonna start working on, but this coming about with the rescue, so.
right.
So in the
So one
meantime,
you need that's scheduled to be replaced. This one,
right, this
Would be
used
that.
one, this
Right.
used
Could be
one,
that.
right.
but this
And
is
then we started working on replacement for this one, and then that other one popped up 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago,
Yeah,
for sale. So,
Well, I mean, depending on how we do the financing. We
yeah,
probably could get it so it would not be more than what we've been paying on a yearly basis.
maybe not, yeah. But
I mean, if you're buying for two.
I just wanted
with what
to
we have.
give you guys all a heads up that,
Well, through our research and stuff, it come about that, you know, in order to stay in line with our replacement schedule, should we be thinking about 2 trucks? It's like, well, if we start talking about buying 2 trucks, everybody's gonna be ready to pass out. But if you could buy 2 trucks for the price of what one to actually replace that one rescue would be, then,
But you don't really have
That's a lot
choice
better.
with the rescue.
correct.
right.
I mean, that's
But
a
now
desperate
that,
situation.
but now that this other truck has come about, that's available, that would replace our engine too for
But
probably.
if they could replace this one with a smaller one.
Correct.
Right,
It's like
they
half
both would be
price.
small.
Both of them.
Both of them would be half price, half price.
Right. No, I think
And
the
the
prices
ozone
are
would be
fine.
even,
It's
you know,
just
part of the price then basically.
There you
Of
go.
an
put you in a pickle.
give or take.
all
What's,
at once.
what's our timeframe on the one that's over in Chittenden?
I don't know if they just barely came on the market, so.
Because it's one
We
of those.
probably need to act sooner than later.
Yeah,
Probably.
because if we don't,
Because it could come up missing, could be sold tomorrow.
bingo.
And how do you said you're pretty sure it has the whatever. How do you know 100% if it has the,
What engines in it?
yes.
I did some checking today on years and stuff, yeah.
So you can tell by years.
Yeah, and just by looking at the truck, you can tell.
Oh,
We haven't actually physically, or
I haven't.
a couple guys did, but they didn't take the look for that particular
Issue.
issue.
What are they asking? Good price?
Have you heard?
171.
175.
Compared to if you were to buy a new one, it'd be 3-4.
It'd be probably 4 anyways. Yeah, wow.
That's a big difference.
You paint these things, you
How
paint a
many
truck,
miles is that one have on it?
you paint a truck red and put a blinking light on top and they raise the price. Yeah, I swear to God.
Yeah, a police car or anything like that.
Yeah, 8,000.
Underneath, not real rusty or anything.
The guys that looked at it said it was really pretty clean. I haven't seen it yet, but
There's 215 in that truck, 214, 250, 196, so. In the truck fund?
yeah.
So what is,
Sorry.
why is he throwing numbers
the
at me? I
truck
have
fund, yeah.
no idea what it
Yeah,
means.
sorry.
I'm like, what size engine is that?
No. Somebody asked about what was in the truck fund earlier and I put
Okay, I didn't
the,
have my book with me tonight.
It's the novice question, so I'm not sure, but like for repainting, like, you know, to get it to.
It's actually,
Would that be expensive?
it's a white truck that's wrapped right now.
Oh, okay.
Wrapped in red on the bottom and black on top.
Oh.
Just have to take the top off, take the top wrap off, and you got a red truck and white cab like ours are. So,
The letter, and away you go.
yeah, some lettering and away you go.
Perfect.
I have a picture of it as well.
no, I think you come across these opportunities, you kind of gotta take
It's like a
advantage
yard
of
sale.
them.
Yeah.
Rather than wait 2 years and pay an
That
extra
does look like,
300,000-400,000.
I got this on this stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just a
so,
Ford
Oh,
550
that's nice.
with a crew cab, I guess it is.
So
yeah, it's a 4-door cabin.
that is smaller than what you have, so
Correct.
that would be another good thing, like you said, with the other one, so more people would be comfortable driving.
Correct.
More user friendly. But the things they do now with these little trucks, they put pumps and PTO systems on them that can do the same thing as these bigger trucks can do.
And now it's got all them pumps and stuff.
So
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Have same pump with that big truck down at 1,500 out there. Yeah.
you mentioned about the gear. It's not going to be potentially in the new one. What do you do with the gear that is stored currently when you downsize? Does it just stay on a rack?
The gear.
Gear.
Oh, yeah, we'll make more rack space for people, or that they'll have the opportunity. We got bags, put in your car, take it with you, whatever the case may be. But most people's gear is out there hanging up.
Makes sense.
Fair bit cheaper maintenance on it too.
Yep.
Would you go and take a look at it, like in person?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
Probably sooner than later.
yeah.
Show some serious interest so that before
You're doing tomorrow.
before you realize it's a real good deal, and then it's got sold, so it's too late.
So do we as a board wanna
Yeah.
makes a motion to give somebody authority to, if this comes up between now and our next meeting, instead of having to have another meeting, to say like,
Oh, it's a month, yeah, okay, that's a month from now.
give Dean you know, if you just need to talk to Dean instead of the whole board, we can give Dean authority.
Yeah. Are you making a motion then?
I guess I make that motion. I make a motion to allow Dean to be able to make that decision and
Say yay or
between our
nay,
meetings.
Yeah, second.
It's been moved and seconded to give me authority to approve the purchase of the used engine 2, if Mark and Joey wish. Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Alright.
We didn't put a dollar amount on that.
No, he didn't, no.
I think they know they're gonna do that.
They know I'm pretty frugal.
Well, that's not what we hear. We hear cheap.
Oh, I see.
Frugal's a word you like.
Frugal's a good
I like to use the word frugal,
frugals. Yeah.
because I'm not cheap. I don't buy cheap stuff.
I know.
Just wait till the other stuff's really broke first.
I buy good stuff, but it takes me a long time sometimes, so makes me frugal.
It's funny, he says that same thing every time you hear that word cheap. That's good though.
Yeah, that's good.
But I think that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
And
It's
this
a good
other one,
deal.
We won't do
Look
anything
into
too,
this other one.
well, obviously, I won't do anything with a phone call, but we won't do anything without, without,
Visually checking it out,
going down and physically looking at it, and
take it for a ride.
maybe we can take Nick with us on Saturday or something.
Yes.
Select board interview.
Yep. Yeah,
I'll go.
That's all I got. Like I said, the other part was already taken care of, so.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
You want one?
Yeah,
Appreciate all you're
I
doing.
want what?
Do you want a cookie?
Are you guys gonna be in the parade?
Well, it's a bar.
It's pretty tasty.
Is it?
Oh, yeah, they're good.
Maybe I'll take one with me.
That's
well,
what
the
I'm
truck's in the
doing.
break for sure. I don't know if I haven't really talked about the hose care, have we?
A little bit, but not much.
I don't think any real decision yet.
You didn't.
Well, you just take the whole paper because it's sticky with flux.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's
There's
good.
enough sugar, you wanna run next to the truck.
Very good.
Thank you.
I will get out and you can leave.
I'll just continue on.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah. Maybe I'll sit over there and eat some of it first. You're not gonna be executive, Joey, no?
No.
Okay.
Sorry. Takes a little.
Yeah, that's
There's the license, FCC license.
I have that stuff.
Yeah, that's quick.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
some stuff that I can't answer.
It is
I
very
got
quick.
the ball rolling with the company that's going to put it together.
Yeah.
But they need, so I was gonna hand it to you. They put it back in the box, which is what you to do, but there's a lot of questions that I can't answer. I need multiple pages. But there's a company that's gonna finish doing it, but they know that they're gonna switch.
So
I would
it's
think
just
that they
these two
would.
questions right here.
Well, there's multiple pages.
Did Garrett, maybe Garrett would be the.
He doesn't want to
Take
do
some
some.
nice Lori takes some great
What's
notes.
that?
She
How
does
do I
not.
company?
Keep telling her, so you can do something.
Oh,
Yeah, I've seen some.
Sounds like he turned down, flatly turned her down.
So they're pretty good.
Is it the same people, so they sent
weekend?
us?
Yeah, well, it's,
They did it
their
from
scenery
original.
type pictures from them. It was good.
If you email or
So
if I
there's
can
the
just
inside, there's like, it looks like the blur, like the flash.
We took a picture to me.
Yeah.
Because,
Jesse, did you bring these?
a lot of technical
Yes, I
stuff.
saw that.
Cleaning that stuff.
I don't know either.
I didn't know if your
But I can
neighbors
give
would
you
make
her,
them at
her
home.
phone
Like you
number,
took it,
No.
like a.
My neighbor's mother.
Companies, this is-
but I can give you the email.
So what do these people do?
They fill out the licensing.
They'll be expecting a request by your grant.
But they
Oh, things are good.
to get.
Yeah.
We've been anchoring
And then you
on
made
it for a
came
while.
back Monday or something.
Just that whole company that we talked
Yeah,
about.
we've done
Just
We've done that
You know
a couple
anything about it?
It's
times.
the same one we used
Just
before.
Just do it, yeah.
And then you gotta go.
She didn't say, but
We
it's
get a really, oh, John,
from what I can see from the
Yeah.
last one, wasn't it? But there's a lot of questions that I can't answer. Like, it's multiple pages and it talks about.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll look at it and do it. That's what it is.
Alright, so that answers that. I'm just gonna question. The local emergency management plan, do you have that?
So I made the changes as I notated and highlighted, and I just need signatures from Dean and Pierre.
Okay.
Because as Pierre stated, it's a work in progress.
Oh, yeah. Before you know it, it'll be due again.
That once a year comes around really quick.
Yeah.
It really does.
feel like it's always due.
Really, I think if you got the main names, like the
I
board
changed all the Gary
chairboards,
Denton
board
stuff,
chairmen.
which is John Massaro, and
Yeah.
changed some daycare stuff and some school stuff, the principals and whatever.
And I'll take a copy of that when you get it back.
Oh, okay. Just one, it's a long. Okay.
When you get that back. sign
copy?
from them, sure. A copy of the
Does it
whole.
matter which one signs where?
He's the emergency management person, so I think there's a distinction between them.
So you're up there, you're all right.
So the mini splits aren't working?
They have no power to them.
Oh,
They're just for show.
just wishful thinking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They're for show.
Yeah, they're show. They're. You want
Also,
it?
they're still working on them, or?
They're just waiting for power. That's all. They just yeah.
Farmer style.
Yeah. Look at that.
I've got a couple of driveway applications here, curb cut applications. Both on the Longy Bridge Road, both, not close to each other, not close enough to combine together. I'll say names, you know. Their father and son, basically, the father obviously of the house. Son's up the road.
Oh, yeah.
1,500 feet of the road, probably.
We do? I thought it was just Dean signing for these.
Just that.
It's been a while
With
since
one of
we've had
those, is that the two-sided one, Larry?
This is Ethan Teague.
Is that one over here?
Yeah.
That one, big. His is, so the notice to proceed is on the back of the front page. That's the one you want to sign. Yeah. So I asked about that consolidating driveways, but everything's, yeah, once I met up there with them. We tweaked one where they wanted to put it, they got them to tweak it in a different spot, but where it fit for us better, but yeah. The duplex is gonna go down the road even further than where Donnie's is, so there's no way of really combining the three. The fortunate thing, they're all down the downhill, the downhill side of the road, so there's no culvert required for them, so.
It looked like it was close, but I'm guessing just the map. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It looks like it is, but in reality,
Yeah,
those marked. Does he got a mark yet?
Yeah,
Perfect.
I don't know if he moved the markers, but yeah.
Okay.
Donnie's was at the bottom, I don't know if you've been up there, up to the bottom of the hill, the boy is up to the top. The duplex is gonna be back towards
This is a Teague.
West Enosburgh way. That's down the
Oh,
road.
is it?
Neither one of these are.
Brothers is the one that owns the new one. if we gave you the wheel and you checked on these, and you decided on one, would you measure for us?
Yep, I've already been up there.
No, but from now on, I think we can do that.
Yeah,
If you measured and we do the paperwork for the 911 stuff, first thing in that, if you just measure to the next driveway and then,
Did you have one for Jordan's airport? That's what he said. Did he have a new driveway?
yeah, that's already
And you've
been
already
through.
done
Yeah, we've already done that one.
And there should be another one coming for some people that was.
Nope, haven't heard from them. So, did I just give you that? Nope. Just want to make sure you got it.
Where is this on Holly Bridge?
Some roses,
From here?
Lou and Claudia Road.
Oh. I thought you said love roses. I was like, love roses?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll basically across the road from there.
It's that property sit on.
And along with that is a easement, right-of-way easement form here for the non-electric co-op to provide them with power down
That's not Enosburgh, I think.
the, nope. Actually, there's no power to where this land is, so that's where it's coming from, is off the co-op's end. Enosburgh comes in one way and the co-op comes in from the
I guess I thought Enosburgh goes up.
Yeah, they come in from the east or the west end of the road. Up
I
to a
don't know
certain
west and
point.
south. What do you do?
Up to a certain point and the co-op comes in from the east.
Stay east.
Where are the sunsets?
Tell me somebody's house, Joe. Tell me a town.
So that's probably right where it splits, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, there's still gonna be a dead zone there where there's no power. Just telephone goes through there.
Am I supposed to do something?
I think somebody's gotta be the witness there, right?
So they're gonna sign and then I'm gonna notarize?
I don't know. The second
Board of
line.
Selectmen,
The one up, I think.
right here.
Right.
Right, but it says Board of Selectmen.
Yeah.
So they're gonna sign, then you're gonna sign, then what do I say?
Yeah, there's something to go on that top line there too.
This, that day of.
So it's all gonna be underground. It may go aerial across the road to a pole and then go underground and be in that right away, I guess. But there's no ditch or nothing on that little side of the road, so it's never gonna bother us. Or they may go underground underneath the road too. So I guess I don't have an issue with that as long as they're down deep enough. And they're gonna wanna be anyways, cause there's frost and so they gotta be at least 6 feet deep there to go across the roads. They're supposed to get back to me on that. One of them was gonna have a conversation with this Tyler, who drew this up,
Tyler Jacobs?
probably, yeah. Let's see which way was the most feasible way to go overhead and across the road or go underground all the way. Too late. After we met last time, remember I had one paving price, but I didn't have the other one yet for pikes. I got pikes back and talked with Dean about it. Actually, he stopped in the next day when I got at the same time I got the price, so I signed the contract with pikes because they were cheaper than Underwoods. You want the prices, or you want to just read them? You can write them down.
Is that for a year or two, Joey?
That's just the road project.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Jesse's got
I
anything
was
for that?
gonna ask, did you get pikes back from that? He was gonna
Send it to.
send it to you,
Oh,
so.
no, I haven't yet.
The only one I got right now is Heath out here. I'm waiting
Oh.
on, I should have the other ones here any day now, so.
Okay.
89 and 95.
When does that start?
Um,
Did you say
Probably in
September?
August.
Oh, August, I thought you said September last time.
Well, I want it done before the middle of September, but we know how that works.
Tell them. Just tell them.
Just
Put in
tell 'em.
contract.
I don't know how Bakersfield did it, isn't off their side streets, they have a bunch of paving up there.
Hungerford's in that.
Hungerford did that,
Yeah.
Bakersfield?
Looked pretty good.
Yeah, I was like, boy, usually down, we're at the end of the summer.
Village, paid Pleasant, lower end of Pleasant Street already.
But it,
We could get paving done right now, but we're not ready for it.
You're paid a little bit now.
We got other work to do. so.
Did the village put up the speed bumps?
They got a,
I have,
No,
I didn't think so.
the village got
I feel like they got
grades
it.
Graded and yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that's the same grades that has a farm over
I
there.
think they got
On
one
the other side of the hill?
last
Yeah.
year.
Well, and so was
One, yeah.
they were gonna, because they're still gonna put them up, I think.
Well, I know one thing,
Yeah.
my truck drivers, they care less.
Oh, really?
They had broken trucks because of
Yeah.
that.
I'm sure.
So I think last time we met too, I told you that we'd gotten a paving grant, class 2 roadway grant, which is a paving grant for paving another mile of the Curly Road. So that, don't really plan on doing any of that work till next year. Since then, we got another email saying that we also received a structures grant for a box culvert on the intersection of the Curly Road and Nichols Road. So along with that, I'll have to be hiring an engineer to do some engineering around that box and figure out what size we need, what length, dimension-wise, size-wise, because of the hydraulic analysis for that, but as far as the length and stuff.
Well, that couldn't be right with Jimmy Carpenter's and you could pave that road right there.
Well, I got, that's the one I was gonna work on next, and I had the hydraulic study done on that last fall. Got it back this spring, actually. But, when this came about, I didn't really think we were gonna get a structures grant, so I just sent this one in that I put in here last year, just changed the form and sent it back in, and, well, we got one, so. Well, that's the thing, we don't have a signed contract yet, so I could probably get it changed.
No, I
Different
just,
spot.
I know we keep on paving some more black roads and stuff, and that was one of the holdups for at least going
Yeah,
to the farm, because
yeah.
those, I don't know if you noticed, the milk trucks use that farm as a balancing point.
Well, I've noticed.
There's 2 or 3 trucks a day, I'm like, oh. Because they're nearby, oh, let's fill up over there.
In the back.
And it's like, you're hitting this dirt road a lot more than you really need.
Well, I've been over there grading and one milk truck coming in from Boston Post,
The other
and one
way.
coming in from the village, same time. One sitting there waiting for the other one.
Sounds good as Kale's milking, pretty good. Yeah.
So,
No, but that's the thing, we could do, we can change that possibly. This is going to be a lot more of an expensive project than this box that I put in for it.
Yeah.
But we've got the hydraulic study done on that, so we know what's size dimension-wise. We just need some engineering to determine the length, so that you got shoulders and room for guardrail, and et cetera.
were you gonna hire that Tyler Billingsley again?
Yeah, I think so. It's just some simple engineering. These concrete guys that don't like to build these boxes unless an engineer's, they got to where they didn't even really like to go with Jim Smith's stuff. I mean, he was fine to do it, but they like that engineer stamp on there saying, yeah, this is what we want. Because I'm sure they probably built boxes for towns, and then when they got them on site, they didn't fit, and the town probably didn't want to pay for them or something,
It can go both ways, I guess.
So, yeah, as long as there's somebody there that's professional that can say, yeah, this is what we want, this is what you need. And so like that culvert on the Davis Road, that's undersized. I forgot now, I think the box that it's like that's a 6-foot multi-plate, and I think it's like an 8x10 or an 8x12.
Is that the one down in the corner? I mean, just before the corner?
Yeah, by Wayne Carpenter's there.
No, I mean the one on Pearly Road.
Oh, the one on the Pearly Road is at the intersection, yes, it's by the monument.
Yeah.
What that is there, that's a concrete box, and we stuffed an arch culvert through it years ago to widen the road out, because it was really narrow there, shoulders are narrow. Well, that culvert that we put in there has been deteriorated and rotted, and it's not adequate size, so when we get one of those heavy floods, water runs over to the next culvert, which we've upgraded and gotten that bigger and stone line and stuff, so that handles it, but yeah, the culvert, the box that's there isn't in very good shape and needs to be replaced at some point, so.
Yeah, you've got the ground height and the paving, you probably just keep it all together and keep going on it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this won't be part of the section that gets paved off this grant because it won't get that far. But it'll be ready for the time when it does happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause that's what we've always talked about, when the river goes over, those are the avenues that get hammered,
Yeah.
bases down the march or whatever.
And like this grant can't go towards like Davis Road or Stonehouse or anything to pave there because this is for class 2 roads.
Right.
And Curly Road is class 2, but it's still a gravel road, so you can put it towards upgrading the road and then paving it. So unless you wanted to change that structures grant to a different structure or the paving site to a different part of class 2 road, or take the paving grant, put it towards resurfacing existing pavement somewhere, which we seem to be keeping a pretty good handle on it with our normal resurfacing budget of $100,000, but I'm thinking next year, maybe instead of putting that extra $100,000 into our paving fund, putting maybe $200,000 into the resurfacing, so we can get maybe just a little bit further ahead, so we don't get behind.
Yeah.
Because we got a pretty good chunk of money in there now, over $500,000 to do the Tyler branch here, so when that comes about. That still needs a lot of work before we can pave it.
When do you see that happen, Joy?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't tell them.
When it does.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to put stabilization fabric all the way.
How,
You talking,
on the Tyler branch, what's the distance that you want to do there? Is it from like where it stops at the Four Corners in West Enosburgh to, I don't remember now where it
All the rest
stops?
of it, yeah. There's like a mile and 3/10, I think it is, yeah.
what is it, up to the bridge here?
Yeah. Yeah. But there's a lot of ditching, culverts all need to be replaced. A lot of gravel and stabilization fabric. We got those 2 spots on the Stonehouse piece that we did, and it sounds like Pikes are gonna go good for repaving that when I got around to do it. But, yeah, we need to dig those down and put some fabric. We had a couple of spots where we put fabric here years ago. So when we did our fabric last summer, I went beyond where I knew we had stopped fabric before. I wish now we'd just kept it on going right to the cemetery, but apparently that stuff had got compromised over the years, and those 2 spots, of course frost is deeper this year than,
Yeah, I think it's just coming out, but it's just still,
yeah.
it's crazy what that hill did.
Plus we only got, it's just the base that's on there, 2.5 inches, but still, it shouldn't have done that. But we can fix it. Nothing to go to waste, we'll fix it. They said they're gonna patch it up for us. They said it'll only probably be 3-4 loads of mix there, so they said they'd do it. So. And then after we patch it, they put piece it back in there, the pavement, and I'm gonna have them shim that area too, so it'll have a little more blacktop on it, and then they'll put the 1.5 inch top on, which they need to do in house. If we didn't have those 2 spots, they could have been doing that right now,
Right, yeah, give it the summer to,
We gotta get the rest of our spring work done so we can get over there and fix those 2 spots, and then they can come do it. And on the Tyler branch, where I'm gonna have them shim and overlay, there's like 4 culverts I need to change there, so.
yeah.
So that's why, yeah, we could do paving earlier, we just need to get ahead of if we could ever get ahead there, where we had a road ready, but it never seems to work that way.
You know, all this rain and stuff keeps pounding on those dirt roads and you run
Yeah.
back around and fix them again and again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so I guess I'll, leave those two, we should be seeing contracts coming from the state
For those two projects.
for those two projects.
The
Not
board,
till,
but didn't the board give you authority to sign those?
well, they'll have to sign those, the contracts with the state, they don't. Yeah, they'll have to sign those. Yeah, normally they wouldn't come till after the 1st of July, but they're saying that they'll probably come before the 1st of July, so you can get them signed. They just don't recommend you start any work till after the 1st of July. But I'm thinking both of those projects will do next year, next summer. They're two-year projects, 2-year grants, so by the time they issue the contract, it'll be good for 2 years from whatever time that happens to be. 1st of July or 15th of June, whatever it happens to be. Yeah, I guess that's all I got.
Thank you, Julie.
Sure.
Anything else?
We might get a frost tonight. I heard that it was supposed to be really
Oh, yeah,
I heard it was supposed to be really cold tonight.
could be.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I put my tomatoes in
No,
thing
Dwayne
yesterday.
said we might turn the heat on and I'm like, no.
Don't worry, my car's
I am not
not
going to
standing
cover
by.
those tomatoes.
I've,
You may have
I am not going
you know,
to.
with your
Don't have to worry about it, you poke it out of the ground.
To plant that.
Yeah.
Oh, I still
Yeah.
haven't put mine away yet, yeah.
no,
No,
never heard nothing from them. Fairfield, town?
yeah,
Yeah, that's been going for these.
Might be interested in the
They
grader.
have to use a furnace tonight.
What's that?
might be interested in the grader. Borrow, use, I don't know.
Really?
Yep.
That old one?
You want, that's all we have, you know, we've got it, and it's one of those of, take a look at it, see what you think. If you need to borrow it,
Before I left, I turned.
What's wrong with the one they got?
Because it's, yeah, those are good.
Apparently it's too old.
And then it's that's right, put it in. And then, like,
Okay.
they better not.
It's a lot newer than the one that we've got.
I don't know. It's,
They were over the garage this spring, said they thought they were gonna buy a new one, or they're looking at buying one.
well, they were looking at it from there, I just happened to mention that we had one, and
They looked at our new grader just to see how much it changed from the one that they've got.
Yeah.
I think the one they've got is only like 8 years old or something.
Practically new.
But I don't know how many hours are on it. They got a lot of roads, so.
yep. But,
How much you rent that out for trimming up around the edges of fields and
I
stuff?
don't know, I'd have to go to the board and find out.
Could be able to dry out the fields first.
Yeah. So they're looking at wanting to use it, you think, or because theirs is broke down, or just they're.
I don't know, he just happened to mention it a couple months ago, because the thing is that, Gavin,
Yeah.
had stopped in a couple times, and trying to catch you. So you gotta catch him in the morning.
Yeah, the one they've got is, it's like I said, so it's 6, 8 years old, I thought they said. It's quite a lot newer than the one that we've got, the used one that we've got.
Figure I'd throw it out, see what happens.
Yep. No, I haven't seen them yet.
You use that old one at all, and just keep it.
Yeah, we used it this spring here. Lucius went out with it quite a few different times there, just in different spots. Staying ahead of me in places. And usually we use it, this time of year to do behind the guardrails and stuff there with the mower.
Yeah. What is in that hill there by his house?
Oh, it's clay, lack of gravel.
Because it did that years ago. It was doing it real bad, and I haven't seen it like that for a long time. And all of a
Yeah.
sudden, it just gave out again. But what the heck?
Yeah, every so many years, you get a year with deep frost, I think. Yeah, it probably needs to be dug out at some point. Yeah, we've done spots like that too, dug them out, cut down fabric, but those heavy trucks, the roads are soft,
I don't know where
they
they come from.
Oh, thank you, Joey.
It's not just the fire trucks, it's a lot of sap hauling too.
Well, yeah, well, I see sand up there, Johnson's lot there today too.
Of course, all the rain that we've had, it's hard to get something like that to,
Yeah.
it takes some hot, dry weather to tighten that up,
Good luck.
You remember it after you hit it 1 or 2 times. You come from the other side, you'll see it
Next few
there.
days are supposed to be bad.
Yeah, but then it goes back to rain.
Yeah, back to rain,
That's
yeah,
the deal.
back to the pattern.
Yeah, the gravel should be probably this deep over it, and it's probably like that,
Yeah,
so it don't take much, and once it gets pumped, then it's hard to get it straightened out.
can't drain the water this year.
It's just,
Keep
have you
it
ever
cheap.
have
That
you
can be
done some of this stuff?
They'll be there
This
for
woods
tomorrow night,
and-
but
oh, no.
I'll be quick.
Okay.
I'm starving.
All right.
Thanks, Joey.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Actually, Joey, since Joey's here, and I emailed Joey, when Catherine was asking about the speed study we're scheduled with regional to do that work this summer. They're gonna go on that section of road on Chester A. Arthur, where Catherine was talking about. I don't know when, they're just onboarding their interns, their summer interns, but we're on the docket for when they're gonna do it, and they're gonna let me know, so I can let Joey know, so he's not playing over there, and so we'll have information.
They don't want you reading.
Yeah, he's like, he goes, yeah, just let your public works guys know so you don't grade they use those like rubber tube things, and he goes, it's happened before, and I'm like, really? I'm like, it's kind of dangerous, but no one's paying attention, but so we should have that at some point here this summer. What the finding is, it's going to tell us who's on, what have tractors, what how many axles, whatever it is, speed, frequency, all that stuff. So and then they'll give us a recommendation as to if we should keep it as is or what we should do. So.
We graded chloride in it today, so unless the weather gets stupid again, which it probably will.
Right.
Yeah, before,
Be up there for a little.
before Joey leaves, is there an update on the salt shed stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I asked.
No, that should be coming by the end of this week or beginning of next. I'd say, I think he said 7.
That would be the 6th.
Saturday.
We'd really like to get into that armory.
Oh, I know.
We could build a house out of it.
So they contacted him a few weeks ago and said they hadn't quite finished reviewing the paperwork and requested more time, so he gave them like 3 more weeks. That's why.
Seems like it's simple.
So that's the holdup with the armories, that stuff being in the way now, right?
Yeah. Well, you can't
Well, there's not
legally do
just
anything
your
with that.
stuff in there, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, you
You can't legally do anything with
There's
that.
there's just stuff everywhere. We need,
Yeah, that's a good bit sand thing right now, right?
Start putting
Start
me
building.
tool over here.
Yeah.
You got volunteers or something, you got your name on that.
well, I did, I put him as a representative, 'cause he knows more than I do, I just know
Probably
there's
don't
a
work
lieutenant.
both
Well,
answers.
and you can change my name to his name, both of you can be on the hook.
Okay.
Needs is a little white out.
You're up.
Okay.
Down.
So- I'll do a blitz
Not
down through
opposed to my
everything.
name.
So. First thing, the state contacted us asking about if we were interested in placing some EV chargers on some of our land. There's a third-party group that was gonna set some EV chargers up over at the Jolly car wash. Jolly got sold to Stewart. Stewart's not interested anymore for it. So they're trying to find somebody who was interested in doing it. So the state reached out to us and they're like, hey, would you? I said, yeah, we have possibly a couple spots, whatever. So they're like, okay. I said, well, we decided to bring it to you guys, and they're looking at, I think it's 3 chargers, 2 high speed, 2 fast ones, and 1 slower one. But there is potential for some compensation for it, because it's nothing we do. This company maintains them, does everything with them, does all of that. Basically, we would allow them to have some space. And basically I said, well, can we potentially lease the space? I mean, I know we're not Burlington here, you're gonna see a huge amount of traffic in here, but, you know, maybe some sort of compensation for it. And he said, absolutely, you can work that. So I'm waiting for, this company's supposed to give us the proposal. Company's called Blank, and they're supposed to send a proposal over, and then as soon as I have that, I'll bring it to you guys. But we were leaning on the Armory parking lot is what we were leaning on, so there might be, like I said, some potential there for some revenue. You know, we talked about the Opera House lot, but we don't know that there, so, you know, yeah, that would be ideal because it'd be in the middle of the village, but it's not. Yeah, so that's just coming down, and hopefully I should have something with that. On the Opera House, last time we left it with that grant, I met with that HVAC engineer. The cooling is grossly undersized, which we kind of figured. That building right now is providing 10 ton of cooling. We need about 22 ton of cooling in that building, so, which we figured that air exchanger downstairs was undersized. So they're putting a proposal together with a combination of replacing those boilers, which isn't going to do AC but for heat, mini splits for cooling. Also on the heat front of it, if we're going to go that route, all the heat for the big room is coming down through the vents out of the ceiling, and there's no way to really push that heat down. They're trying to pull it with the fresh air is what they were trying to do. It isn't really going to do that unless you put fans in there or do something. So the proposal is to put some floor registers down on the bottom, you know, baseboard registers for the heat. The problem is because it is cold in there in the winter, we got to add glycol to it. You got to have a glycol system in that, and the glycol system eats those parts alive.
Yep.
But either way, regardless, he's going to break it out and let us know what, you know. I recommend doing this, and this. I mean, ultimately, if there's, depending on what the cost is too, that's the biggest thing. But between the mini splits, and then, you know, helping out with that AC, it should help with that, whatever it is, you know, 12 ton deficit of cooling in there. So on top of the grant, we also got, we're going to get a Energy Efficiency Vermont rebate on those two. We also replaced all the thermostats in here. That's a smart thermostat. Those were all free from Efficiency Vermont too. That's a programmable that can actually be used with your phone with those thermostats in here. So we didn't do it through the whole building. We just did them here and then the big room because those guys are over there. Nobody really needs to be messing with their stuff. But in here, just in case, because there's so much public coming in and out of there. Like I said, those were all covered too. The Armory, they have started working back in there a little bit. They put all the mini splits in, just waiting power once the electrician's back here. We've got electrical work here, we got electrical work there. Hopefully we're gonna see electrical work here right off. But all those, like I said, all those mini splits are done down there. The smart thing, mini splits. Seeing in this building here, we had another issue with that pump station down here back, I don't know, what was it, last week it was. We were up here trying to figure out, we put conduit underneath that new sidewalk out here. So Gary was up here with me. We were looking at it, we were gonna do the conduit, so we started walking, everything was marked out for dig safe. We looked at the cleanouts, the sewer cleanouts, just to get an idea how deep those were, pulled the cap off from it, and there was sewer water right to the top. Like, uh-oh, something's plugged, not pumping. So, long story short, it wasn't pumping and it was plugged. So the pipe had come separated down on one of those cleanouts down there. So and that's where it got clogged. So Minosh came, jetted it out. We also found out that the breaker in here wasn't working properly because what was happening was it wasn't showing an alarm anywhere. It wasn't showing an alarm down here. This breaker is one of the ones that's got the little light in the front of it if it's dead or something's wrong. Well, it doesn't pull enough amperage, and there was no reason for it to show any red on that thing. But what was happening was if you shut it off and turned it back on, you were making new contact with it, and then everything was lighting back up and turning back on. So long story short, that should be working now.
So it just
changed the breaker and it should be hopefully.
So we had a guy here, a pump guy here, tested everything, made sure the power was good. He cleaned up that box a little bit. Because Monash was telling us, they were like, oh, you need a new pump switch down, you need that whole box needs to be changed. And so Jordan Brown came from Peak, and Jordan looked at it, went through it, and he said, no, everything's fine with this. He tested everything, the amperage everything was good. So knock on wood, that's all fixed. So the plan next is to change out this sewer line. I called Dean and talked to Dean about it, but hopefully, again, we can string a few dry days, is go from the edge of this building down to the pump station. And then of course I think that the grease separator pipe, we're thinking Y's there too, I'm guessing, I don't know. Yeah, it does.
It weighs into the sewer.
It Y's into the sewer. So change all that, put Schedule 40 in and go all the way down to the thing, so
Separately.
Yeah, right, yep. But when I think it was you or somebody said that had cambered one time and it looked like this down through that
Yeah.
pipe, so get that changed before we do the paving up here. But like I said, the conduit's all set underneath, that's all ready to go. They put Monash in, or not Monash, the guys out here that are doing the sidewalks, Munson, they put it in for us that day. They were like, yep, no problem, we'll put it in. So they put 20 feet in. We know where they are, so we can finish it when they're all done. We can do that too. So.
So they go on the other side of the sidewalk?
Yep. Yep. Yeah, they cut out one little. If you walk down there, you can see they cut out one little section. We marked it on both sides, so we'll just dig it up and finish it out. So. Paving. Called Bushy. Joey got Pike. Pike came. Heath and Hungerford. I've got a quote back on Heath. Basically did it two ways for you guys. Completely tear it out, redo it, or just like overlay, shim and overlay to see which way. I mean, I know tearing it out is going to be a lot more money, but it's pretty broke up and I don't know. This definitely out here needs to be redone over on the ambulance side because it's, and like Joey and I were talking about too, whether or not to take that little grass patch out that kicks out there, because if we take that grass patch, it would be a hell of a lot easier for Joey to just plow straight down through
Nobody
there.
shovels it. Nobody.
Right, we always, exactly, so, yeah, so, but yeah, everybody's doing quotes on that, so hopefully next round I'll have that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you do a really good job because what was this 30 years ago since this
Right.
been paved?
97.
So do a good job and it'll be the next
Be
batch of
somebody,
cement.
yeah, be somebody else's problem, right, yeah.
That's the thing in front of the building, you can't really just
You
put
can't-
another 2 inches on top of what's there either. I mean, you gotta,
Right.
You gotta
you gotta at least.
You gotta take it out, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, which they've all said that. They're gonna put, most of them got them on a skid steer or whatever to grind off near the doors, mill it out near the doors and stuff, so.
And they'd have to do like out for a ways.
Not that much up there anyway, too.
I don't know how deep it is.
Yeah, it ain't
but
very deep.
That's
Right.
yeah. I was gonna say.
By the time
probably
they mill it, ain't gonna be nothing left.
Right.
You can see where I plowed the top layer off on a good share of it up the driveway.
Right.
Over the last 2-3 years.
Yeah.
That new Viking plow there bites pretty good.
But, yeah. So back to the grant, so like I said, the Opera House, we're waiting on that with the numbers. The library kind of wanted to do the phase 2 stuff there. I was trying to get them, because the windows are, well, we found out today they're 41 years old. The windows are in the library, so trying to get approval on that from the grant. They're balking at that because the company that came in and did the evaluation didn't put in that the windows need to be replaced. They want to caulk them and use spray foam on the windows. And I'm like, why would you, that makes no sense at all. It wouldn't,
Really
if,
old windows.
for a true efficiency grant, wouldn't you replace the windows?
And
So
the money's there.
Yeah.
it's all allocated, everything. So I have a meeting with them here, I don't know, some point here this week to sit down, and I said, whatever, if you guys want to come up here and look at them and whatever, I just don't know how you spray foam and caulk those windows to whatever. So hopefully we'll get that squared away. And then the last quick thing I have is just the library mini splits quotes. I've got 3 again. I got one from from lawyers, from John Mercy, and from Tyler Robtoy from Mountain Air. If you guys want to look at them, they're all
Quotes for what?
for
Mini
mini
splits.
splits for the library. We didn't approve these yet because we didn't have them all finished out the last time. So I put in the one that I'm suggesting on top is Mark Lawyers. He's got four heads for the library, so there'd be two when you walk into the main part of the library, one on that little, the children's side on the left, and then one back in the meeting room. So that'll cover the whole building. There'll be two condensing units on the outside. He came in at the cheapest. He went with the, I can't think of the name. It's a good brand on the, it's a well-known brand on the, those are, no, he's got the, I can't remember. The Fujitsus.
Oh, yeah.
He's got the Fujitsus. Yeah, so he comes in at 16, I got it here. So he came in at 16,985 for those, and the other two. So John's is it looks like it's weird, it's two quotes. He had added another mini split on, so that's why one of them is smaller than the other. But the total comes out to 23. So, like I said, Mark is cheaper. He can do it right off. He's good to follow all the protocol we have to, because we can't. If you notice these out back here, we can't set them on the ground.
Yeah.
We have to. That's, I don't know why, but it's one of the rules. We have to mount them on the building. So we didn't want to just mount them just on this building, because if you, like we were talking about last time, then we finally figured out. We said, well, what happens if we mount them just up off the ground to the concrete, to the foundation? So we're gonna do that and go from there. So that's my suggestion, is to go with Mark's. He's able to start right off. Yeah, that's everything I've got except Dean. I don't know if you want to go in executive for police. I got some numbers for, I went to St. Albans, so.
I need to accuse myself on this.
So on the meeting, I'll move. They can go in here and out meeting, right?
Move to his recommendation.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of these questions will be answered off the license. Some of this stuff.
Sorry, I didn't have any questions. I went kind of fast, so I didn't have any.
Pretty straightforward.
No, okay.
Yeah, second.
Yeah. Get to the license.
Moved and seconded. We're going to executive session time to go,
Yeah.
for the, to approve the quote for the mini splits at the library. Any discussion? Seeing none, everybody in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Any opposed?
Jesse, are these things heaters too?
Yes, those will go down to 5 below. So, yeah,
Okay.
I plan on having a,
What the hell did you do?
What'd you do? Slip?
You hit me.
no, Mark, I plan on having a tutorial, like, not that nobody knows how to use them, but just basically to try to have everybody set these things and don't touch them, you know what I mean? So that way, it's like,
I don't know how to use them. I didn't
Yeah.
know they had heat.
yeah, no, those will go, yeah,
I don't have any heat.
yeah, those will go down.
How am I supposed to know?
I'm too freaking cheap
Cheap.
for that.
Frugal.
Frugal, yeah.
I have air conditioning.
You can actually, yeah.
We're just going into our first year, because Mark put ours in last fall, and last week, a couple of warmer days,
It
and
was.
it's like I'm coming to the bedroom, like, this is nice.
Nice,
And
right?
I don't hear that, the one in the window that we used to have.
I have the kind that roll to the window, but they're still loud too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get these now to go down to 30 below.
Can you?
Yeah, the idea is really so we use those until we absolutely have to turn them boilers on. When it's winter time, use those as much as possible. Set your thermostats at whatever,
Yeah.
and then use those until, and then when it's time, shut those off, then turn the big system on. So, yep.
I'll move it, we go into executive.
Yep.
Rowdy, Joel, thanks for the cookie.